It is. It is. It is. What is the difference between all of these, and what does it have to do with poetry? If you've ever heard of meter or rhythm in poetry, this is exactly what we're talking about. Did you think that the meaning changed with all of those? It is. It is. Well, part of this has to do with stress, which is really, really important in English. And when you use this across entire sentences, you can give your sentence a very different emotional feel, speed,
Rhythm.
each one of those patterns that we used at the beginning are called different types of meters. If you've ever studied like Shakespeare's sonnets in the past, hopefully that's not too painful of a memory. This is what we're talking about. It is. It is. Notice that it's a weak first part. It's lower pitch. It's a little bit softer. Followed by a part that goes higher and it's a little bit stronger. Is. It is. That is called iambic, or it's using iambs, a weak followed by a stress. The opposite of that, it is, it is, it is. These are examples of trochees. Trochees are when you have a heavy, higher pitched, stronger first note followed by a weaker, faster second. It is. And what if you want to give weight to both?
It is.
Well, now we have what's called a spondee, which again is a higher pitch, heavy emphasis, followed by another high pitch, heavy emphasis. Now, those are all of our 2-foot meter patterns. Basically, they have 2 syllables, 2 main parts.
What happens if you have 3?
Well, there's a couple. You can have a stress followed by a weak and a weak. For instance, this, it is not. It is not. This is called a dactyll. Or you can do the opposite, right? Where you have a weak, followed by an even weaker, then followed by a stronger, higher pitch, slightly longer. It is not. It is not. Those are called anapests. So now when you hear a Shakespearean sonnet that's written in
Iambic pentameter.
that might make a little bit more sense. Okay, so it's like da-da, 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 da-da. But what does the pentameter mean? Well, that basically means how many iambs or other forms that you're using exist. For instance, a 1-foot line is called monometer. It would be like atom. There's only 1 foot there. It's that trochee, atom. So what you could say is that's trochaic monometer. Atom isn't. Well, now what you have is trochaic dimeter. Atom isn't. Trimeter means you have 3 feet. Tetrameter means you have 4 feet, and pentameter means you have 5. So when you think of your Shakespearean sonnet, what that means is if your iambic pentameter means you have 5 iambs in that line. Depending on the meter that you use, you can give a line a very different feel. This is not just for you, or so I think. This is not just for you, or so I think. One of the problems that people often have when they're writing meter, though, is that
We're not really paying attention to the rhythm of the sentence.
so we think something is actually iambic, when the truth is it's maybe becoming an anapest depending on the rhythm, or a dactyll, or things like that. For instance, in this sentence here, I don't really know. I don't has an iambic feel, actually. But if you say, really no, that's not actually iambic because there's different feet. Really, no. Now what we're talking about is an anapest. Try this out for yourself, though. In the comments, give me a line that is anapestic trimeter. That means your rhythm's going to be something like, and the sound of her voice was so soft.